with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and these are the Night Terrors. How you guys doing? Hope everybody's having a great evening. It's Thursday, and it's decided to start kind of snowing here today, and I think we got a couple inches out there, maybe an inch and a half, something like that, but there's no longer grass out there. It's this blanket of white caking everything in this frozen state of hell that I love so. I don't really love it that much, so but it is pretty. I'll admit that the snow is pretty, and I'll begrudgingly admit that that's kind of nice, but I'm still not ready for it. I just don't think I can get to that place where I'm excited about it being snowy. But anyway, what can I do about it? All you can do is enjoy it and try to find the positive in it, embrace it with all of your might, and much like I do every night doing the shows, because I really do love doing these shows, and I'm really thrilled that so many of you come in here and hang out with me and join me in our journeys into the Paranormal Portal. And this is the Night Terrors. So this is, if you're new to the show, these are our shorter format shows. They're about an hour, and we kind of just tackle one topic per evening and have a good time with it. Hopefully you'll have a good time if you're new to it and decide that you want to come back. And if not, at least think kindly of us when you wander about the webs. But I'm not here alone, ladies and gentlemen. I have my firstborn child with me. He is my co-host. He's my right-hand man tonight, Mr. Sheldon Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Glad to be here once again on this wonderful Thursday night. How are you?
I'm doing good. And I've noticed that you haven't, for the most part, you're remembering to unmute yourself, which is nice.
It's taken some trial and error, but we're there, I think.
Yeah, it is. And as you're watching Sheldon on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, just I know there's a lag, and it's the way that I'm utilizing his camera. See, if I was just linking it to a display, it would be in real time, but that's kind of cumbersome, and it causes a lot of formatting issues in doing the show. So I link it through this window, but there is a latency on this window. So if Sheldon sounds like he's talking from a kung fu movie, he's really not. It's in real time, but for some reason the video is a little bit delayed. So just bear
I'm normal, I swear.
You're really here, man. You're really here. So anyway, don't let that fool you. Sheldon really is here with me. And, of course, not here in the Paranormal Portal Studios, as I'm in the north of Idaho. Sheldon is, of course, back in the tundra of Minnesota. Do you have any snow?
Well, we did get snow, but it's all melted now.
Oh,
so we're back to fall.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's the outlook on this deal, but it just started kind of snowing today. And hasn't decided to stop for several hours, so we'll see what we end up with. But I might have to drag a shovel around the sidewalk for the first time.
Oh, no.
I know.
The horror.
It is. It's a penance. I don't know why my ancestors stopped. They should have just kept going south. I don't know why I stopped. I should have just kept going south, too.
What they say about Minnesota.
Well, what do they say?
You can't leave Minnesota.
You betcha.
They do say that too.
Yeah, I'm Minnesotan, I know. I'm a native Minnesotan, ladies and gentlemen, but we are into strange phenomena tonight, which means we're going to cover a few different things. And don't forget, at the tail end of the show, we're going to do the trail cam terrors. We're going to discuss a video that was apparently taken that seems to indicate some ghostly activity. So we'll look into that at the tail end of the show. But I don't know, Sheldon, anything else on the front end?
On the front end, I think that covers it all.
That covers it all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call in and be a part of the discussion tonight, if you've got something paranormal of your very own you'd like to share, then please, by all means, feel free to do so. And you can do that by calling 720-923-0500. Those are the numbers for fun here on the Paranormal Portal. Oh my God, a little bug. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Easy. I know. Oh, something shiny.
Nice.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. That's because I'm a simple man. I really am. But anyway, we're gonna dive right into it. So I hope you all are ready, because it's time for bed. There's the boom, Sheldon.
There's the boom.
There's the boom. So that means we're officially underway here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And, I got to tell you, I have loved the paranormal for as far back as I can remember. Like, it's always been something that I find incredibly exciting and intriguing. And I don't know, it's just, to me, it's kind of like one of the last great displays or suggestions that there's still magic in the world. And to me, I've always wanted to live in a world full of magic. And so that maybe there's always going to be a confirmation bias for me personally, because I love the idea of the paranormal. But I always do look at it all as objectively as I can. I do have a very logical center to my brain, so I'm not just signing on to everything that comes out and, oh yeah, that's definitely it. Oh, there's loved ones all around you, that kind of thing. But I think as you look into the paranormal, the big thing is to, probably look at it through the eyes of a skeptic as much as you can. I mean, not necessarily that jaded, I'm not going to believe anything kind of thing, but at least to look at things, whether it's stories, whether it's video evidence, whether it's photos, with as much objectivity as you can, and try to, look at possibilities. Sometimes, and I don't know why I'm going into this, but sometimes it just, I get to the saturation point where as I'm going through the different pages, different sites, different media, social media groups and stuff, you get some of these people, and I'm not putting anybody down. I understand you want things to be real. You want things to be spooky and paranormal and outstandingly amazing. And you get a lot of things like branch squatches. Branch squatches are my term to suggest, when you've got people that are taking pictures and there's no real shape or reason to it unless it's circled and highly suggested what's there. Now there's I have come to learn, and I do agree that Sasquatch, Bigfoot and stuff is probably incredibly adapted and perfectly adapted to its environment. So I do think that some of those bush pictures that show faces and stuff, I do think some of them are legitimate. I really do. However, I think that a lot of them out there are not. Some of the best examples that I think of some that are really good, I've seen a few through the years, but I gotta just take a moment and say that I think the several of them that are on the 168 documentary, 168 hours, put together by Bigfoot Odyssey, Kerry Arnold, and in cooperation with Mark Zaski and several other researchers. They did an expedition, and they really did a hell of a job. And I think I was amazed by some of those images, because it really caused me to go, wow, these things really are incredibly adapted to their environments. They know how to be in plain sight, but be absolutely invisible. And it may be something to do with the hair. I've heard the suggestions by like Mark Zasky that their hairs are kind of almost prismatic, and they do grab the colors of things around them and cause that to be a part of their visage. And I think there's merit to that. But there's some pieces of that evidence on the 168 hours that I was like, whoa, that's really amazing. I was really, truly, and this is objectively, impressed by several of the images that they captured and showed on that documentary. And I just want to let you all know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, head over to the Bigfoot Odyssey YouTube channel, and it's right there on their page. You can watch 168 hours. It's a new documentary. It's just been released in the past week, and watch it. And it's well worth the watch, because while there isn't a Patterson-Gimlin film on there, there's nothing that astounding, but that's like a 1 in a trillion opportunity that you're going to get something like that. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there. Everybody's looking for the next Patterson-Gimlin film, but unfortunately, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin were the only ones that caught it, with the exception, I would say, of a few videos out there, including the Freeman footage from out of the Washington state. But those are pretty close seconds, and there's a few others. But for the most part, you get prints, you get hairs, you get even to the point that I think that some tree breaks really defy logic. Like it's there's things that happen in woodland, and there's other things that you find that don't make any sense. And when you're seeing like spiral tree breaks and things where it's actually like twisted and corkscrewed, or other things, like I really think that they found some pretty incredible physical evidence in this documentary. So if you get a chance, head over to Bigfoot Odyssey YouTube channel, check it out. And again, the other thing that I love about it is it really walks you through their investigative processes, things that they did, the approaches they took. And I think that was incredibly insightful and educational, the way that they would survey areas and why they picked certain areas to keep an eye on and stuff. I think that was really a great glimpse into what goes on and what should go on, maybe. But it was an awesome opportunity, because I will tell you, this is the first documentary that I know of that took several research teams from all over, brought them together on one journey. They all worked in cooperation and really brought some incredible stuff to the screen. And this is only the first release. There's more releases of the footage and evidence that they found coming up. But there's some pretty incredible stuff. And so check it out. And if you're not subscribed over there, get subscribed. And if you're not subscribed here, get subscribed, by God, please. But anyway, I just wanted to plug that quick, because I think they did a heck of a job. And of course, they are dear friends, full disclosure.
Exposure.
That's coming later.
Oh, God.
But they did a great job. So I wonder if evolution of that potential prismatic hair suggests that before that, the ones who didn't have this adaptation were taken out of the breeding population by predators. I don't know. That's a good point. There are some things or adaptations that encourage the propagation of a species, and there's some that discourage propagation of a species. Albinos, for instance, are the nature abhors of albino because they don't blend in at all. They stick out like a sore thumb. So that's like a quote unquote mutation that doesn't lend itself to perpetuating the survival of a species, unless you're in the polar, like you're a polar bear. Other than that, you're going to be in kind of trouble.
Kind of like how ginger hair is a mutation in a sense, an odd adaptation.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of adaptations. I think blue eyes is a mutation, and they're more common now than ever before. But there was a time where blue eyes were incredibly rare. So, and there's some regions where they're almost unheard of in ethnic and populations and stuff. So, anyway, let's get into the stuff tonight. I just wanted to take a moment to endorse what they've done over there, because they really did a great job, and I think it's It's really cool, and I hope you guys will support what they're doing over there. So we are going to go into an article from ranker.com tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And this article is people who are skeptical about the paranormal share the creepy stories that still haunt them. And I don't know, I'm telling you, I love these kind of stories, though. I'm hoping this isn't a repackaging of another article that I read, but so far I don't think so. But I love the stories because here's the thing, I kind of talked about, being a skeptic, at least in your objectivity as much as possible. But there's a what is it? A toxic skepticism that exists where people like to make the paranormal into the punchline. It's like, oh, you're one of them. You're one of them. Okay, good luck with all that. And it's really kind of a slap in the face because people have had incredible encounters. I've had many, many varied incredible encounters through my life. Now, to anyone else, that's not involved or believing in the paranormal, it probably sounds kind of suspect. It's like, wow, you got a paranormal show and you had all these experiences. Sure you have, and it's not my attempt to be relatable. I didn't ask for any of them, but they all kind of landed in my lap, and it's something I've always been interested in. So it's never been, I've never been like thoroughly traumatized by most of the experiences. A few of them, yeah, but for most part, not so much. But I love when these skeptical people have to come face to face with these possibilities and what that can mean, because I just think that having an open mind is a strength. It's not a weakness. It's not a failing or a shortcoming. I think it enables a person to, look at the world of possibility. So this is the article we're going to get into. Sheldon, what do you think? You ready? I think you're muted, Sheldon.
I was muted. I slip a few times, but for the most part, I still got it. Okay.
You still got it. At least you recovered it in time. So this is the article we're going to get into. People who are skeptical about the paranormal share the creepy stories that still haunt them. So let's get into these. Number 1, woken by screaming. Is woken a word? That just looks weird to me. Why does woken look weird? I know awoken. I was awoken, but I've never heard woken. I don't know. Let me know. Anybody in the chat, is woken correct?
Oh my God, I was muted again. Oh, maybe it's a play on words for like woke.
No, I'm probably not. Oh, maybe. I don't know. It could be, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue here. It's this is by Fantic122. It was a Saturday, and I was taking a nap, and in my dreams, a girl with a white dress got near my ear and started screaming. I instantly woke up, and I heard the door ringing. It was a friend, and the moment he comes in, he asks if I'm with a girl at home. And I was like, why are you asking? And he said that he rang the bell, and a girl answered, and he asked if I was home, and she said, yes, he's sleeping. I'll wake him up. Just a second. He says I was freaking traumatized. Wow. That's pretty incredible, huh?
Very.
Yeah. So he was taking a nap, was woken by a woman screaming, and his friend knocked on the door and said, I don't know, maybe, what does it mean? Is it on the phone? Was the person calling? I heard the door ringing. It was a friend. And the moment he comes in, he asks if I'm with a girl at home. And I was like, why are you asking? He said that he ringed the bell and a girl answered. I wonder if that's like one of those door buzzers and not in person. Okay.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
Okay. He asked and he said, yes, he's sleeping, and I'll wake him just a second. That's hilarious. Wow. That's creepy and hilarious at the same time. So cool story. And this next one is from Cleaning-Meaning. Something running by the window. One night, the girl I was babysitting coming running out of her room crying, saying that something was walking by her window. Now, I get a lot of creepy stories and things from kids I babysit. They have crazy imaginations, so I go check, not really thinking anything. Something runs by the window as I'm checking it out. A distinctly humanoid figure. At this point, I needed a diaper as much as the little girl I was babysitting, so I text the parents asking about it, and no kidding, this is the response I got. Oh my God, you saw it too. Yeah, I cried and called the cops too. They came by and said they didn't see anything around. The thing is, the parents had called the cops several times before too for the same reason. One of the freakiest times I've ever babysat. I bet you she didn't volunteer to babysit there again.
No.
So it was outside the window though, right? I mean, that's something running by the window. Yeah. So it must've been on the outside. Oof.
At least it wasn't on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. You got that going for you. Number 3 on this list by great_big. Siblings felt like they were being pulled from their beds at the same time. Ooh. My aunt has a story of her and her siblings sharing the same experience while in 3 separate rooms. My aunt and I were driving in the town she went to school in, and we drove past a house, and I remarked how bad it looked, and she replied, "It's worse inside. That place is haunted." I've never heard my aunt talk of anything paranormal, and I haven't since. The story goes that the 3 of them rented out some sketchy house while going to school. Apparently strange things would happen that made them feel uncomfortable, but never anything crazy. On a few occasions, they would all notice they would wake up in the night with the blankets off at the foot of the bed. Nothing strange. People kick off blankets when they get too hot all the time. Well, one night my aunt recounts that she had a dream she was falling and needed to grab something to save herself. She suddenly realized that she wasn't dreaming. She was being pulled by her ankles out of her bed. She grabbed the rails of the headboard, and after a few horrifying moments, she gets the strength to scream. At the same time, she hears screams from her siblings' rooms. The feeling ended just as soon as it had started, and she ran to check on them, and they all had the same feeling of being pulled out of their beds. Needless to say, they moved out and didn't look back. Wow, that's horrible.
I mean, I just can't imagine, having an experience like that, like where you're physically touched and like manipulated around like that, and still being a skeptic that there's something out there,
Right.
Even if you don't know, but you acknowledge that there's something definitely out there.
Well, Ghost Magnet 81 says Paranormal Portal, woken is a past participle verb. I looked it up and it is a word. I've never heard it either. Wow. Huh.
Interesting.
I'm getting images. I'm getting dings. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you looking that up. I appreciate that a bunch. I just learned something new today.
We both did.
I was today old when I learned that woken is a word. Okay. Number 4, I saw a family friend who was already dead in the backyard. That's by Obi Meme Kenobi. I think I've seen that name before. Coming up on other stories that we've read. So maybe this is a repeat story, but let's check it out. This happened back when we were in like 3rd grade. It was around 7 p.m. when the sun was almost set. My cousin swore that one of my grandma's friends was in their backyard knocking on the window in their room and trying to talk to them. Although not entirely strange for her to be back there, she regularly helped my grandma with her garden. At this point, she had been reported missing, and nobody even knew where she was. It was only later that we learned she was already dead sometime that morning. She'd been stabbed several times, and her body found in a dumpster nearby. Aw, I don't know who the heck my cousin saw that night. Well, they saw her, maybe? That's enough to keep you from resting in peace, I would think.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
I wonder what the trying to talk to them. Was it like, hey, open the window? Or is it just some weird lip movement? I don't know. That's weird. Weird stuff, man. What do you think of that one, Sheldon?
Interesting. I mean, it was forcefully pictured in my head that the scene of the passing away, but
yeah.
But I mean, I'm not surprised at all that like if that was the aunt, I'm not surprised because I mean, going in a traumatic way like that, like you don't. I mean, when you're stabbed, you don't just die. You you deal with that entire feeling. You know, it's very traumatic. So I mean,
it's not a quick way to pass. Yeah.
No, it's not. No,
it's incredibly slow. Like in the movies, ladies and gentlemen, it's like, oh, they fall like a rag doll. It's over, and it's real quick and easy like that. But in real life, no, it's nothing like that. Not that I witnessed this, but I know I've been cut many times, and I didn't die, but I can tell you it hurt like hell, and I can imagine being stabbed several times and having to deal with all of that agony, as you know, as that faded. Horrible thing. Horrible thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, even on top of that, just like your body just thrown into a dumpster, like come on.
Yeah, like trash.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd probably stick around too, because I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that one would kind of wreck your whole peaceful thing, huh? This next one is A Man in Flashing Lights, and this is by Alokir. Alokir. I assume that's Alokir. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, I missed a call at some point. I never got a notification until right now. Okay. Weird, but it was an hour ago.
Oh.
Love my phone.
Okay.
Love my phone. All right, this is from Alokir. Lights flashing in my bedroom at night when I was around 12. It looked like an invisible man walking around the room and taking pictures with a camera, but all we could see were the flashes. It happened from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., a flash every few minutes or so. I had two of my friends with me who slept over, and that's how I know I didn't dream or imagine it. That's interesting. So I don't know when this was, how long ago it was, but I assume they must have had no way to record it. It's like now everybody's got a cell phone, so if something weird like that happens, you know, you just pull up the video and you know, if you can have that that frame of mind, anybody could record some amazing stuff, because everybody's got these incredible, you know, high pixel, you know, really good quality recording devices, whether it's just audio or video as well. And now that's also the other side of it, because of course people that see horrifying things, the biggest complaint people have of their stories is, why don't they take a picture? Well, you know, if you're being terrorized, they're probably not like enough, you know, selfie time. Like, yeah, you know, you're thinking of, oh my God, what's going on? Am I going to die? So, but anyway, that's a weird one. I don't know what the flashing lights moving around would be. That's very strange.
Interesting. Yeah.
It is.
I was thinking of what it could be, but
you just don't know. No, I'm not. Of course, there's the orb phenomenon. Orbs are basically the balls of light that seem transient and seem intelligent. They seem to move of their own accord, and I've seen them with my own eyes. I'm not talking about things I've gotten in pictures or whatever, but I've seen them with my own eyes twice in my life, and the ones that I saw were about this big. You know, they're about the size of maybe a 50-cent piece, maybe a little larger than a quarter, but not enormous. But they were these little suns. They looked like little stars, you know, like suns moving around. And it was pretty incredible. But in those cases, I never even thought of a phone, recording it either. But it was just, oh, there it is. And then boom, it's gone. And then one time it came by my legs as I was walking, you know, a light came around my cabinets in the kitchen and went right by my legs and then just was gone. So, but yeah, I don't know if this would be an orb kind of phenomena that was more flashing rather than steady or something. I don't know. Very strange. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 6, hotel room revealed evidence of murder to the guests. This is by Backshot 14. Had a room in our hotel where a murder occurred. We got multiple complaints from different guests every couple of weeks that the sheets had blood stains on them and the lights wouldn't turn on. Whenever we checked the room, there were no issues. One time after moving the guests, we got a noise complaint that there was screaming coming from the room. Checked the room, it was empty. Listened to the neighbors' rooms, didn't note any noise either. We had never publicly released that the murder occurred in that room, and nobody but staff knew. I'm skeptical, but it creeps me out. Yeah, of course, there again is another high energy, horrible demise for somebody. And it doesn't surprise me that there's an imprint that continues.
I mean, if time's an illusion, it can leave a ripple throughout time.
I could just hearing a buzzing or something, or a humming from the other room. Oh, I know what it is. It's the fan on the furnace. Okay. I was like, well, it doesn't usually sound like that, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on it, I guess. But anyway, enough of me and my stuff. But yeah, of course, murders, when there murders happen, that would, of course, leave a pretty huge psychic imprint. And it could still be a residual, although the people are noticing that, things like the lights won't work and stuff. Now, could that be residual still? Sure. Because maybe it wouldn't matter if somebody was trying to turn on the lights or not. They would just be problematic, either on or off when you don't want them to be. And you don't seem to be able to change it. So it still could be residual, even including the bloody sheets and stuff appearing. And that could very well be residual as well. I would think it's probably more intelligent, because it seems that that maybe this presence wanted to demonstrate, look, this happened here. This happened to me here. This is me. This is what happened. And because I do think there is the whole unfinished business thing. It's like somebody should know what happened to me. And maybe that's how they try to inform people. But it could still be just a residual, huge psychic imprint that flashes into reality every once in a while.
Another thing I think it's good to mention, because it's something I've thought about too, is many times I've thought to myself, like, ignorance, in my ignorance, saying that, man, why don't they just tell us? Why don't they leave more signs or do this and that? I have to think to myself that there must be some sort of limitation or some reason that they can't just, talk to someone telepathically or show themselves and, whatever. I'm sure it's not that simple. I'm sure it's not.
No, I think the problem is probably more with us than it is with them. Meaning that we have so many stories of little children. We're talking 2-3-year-old kids having full regular visits and conversations with these people that are no longer here. I mean, they're talking, they're laughing, they're answering questions. There's an entire dialogue going on. But I think there's either it's physiological, something about that younger state of our bodies is more open and pure and can make that connection so much easier than our adult states with all of our maybe calcified pineal glands and a lifetime of stress and distraction to take us out of that state. But so I do think that it's probably possible to actually have those conversations, and many psychics claim that they do indeed just have, dialogue with people that have passed on. I don't know if it's the same thing as like having a discussion with somebody in a room, like, hey, come on in, sit down, let's talk about what happened here. Maybe it is. But I don't know. I think a lot of times the communication to us, the adults or whatever, is more symbolic, because they can't get through to us by just going, hey, you know what? You won't believe what happened there. To me, it was terrible. You should have been there. It was horrible. So they give signs and symbols because that's the only thing they can do that cuts through So I think it must be more energetically intense to try to communicate with us, and probably exhausting than trying to communicate to a child. And for whatever reason that is, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess you have said this before. It just, for some reason, I had a brain fart and didn't even think about it.
Oh no, I mean, but it's a great question, because I think the same things too. I think, why can't they just? But now I will say that, like in dreams, I think people do get those dialogue and communications. Like, but it has to do with us being in that really relaxed, open state in that dream state where they can come through and have these discussions. Like I had a whole discussion with my dad, and it was very, very real. It was very powerful, and it was really incredibly healing as well. Just because, anytime someone passes that's been a part of your life, it has a real emotional impact and devastation. So,
right.
It was very powerful. So, hello, Naysay. Good to see you, brother. I suppose maybe we could do some shout outs quick. I'm not sure.
I think so.
Let's do some shout outs and see who is here, because by God, we're here. So let's see who else is here. So if you want a shout out, start typing in the chat, because it doesn't carry the names of people just watching. But if you don't want a shout out, just stay quiet. If you want it to be secret, you don't want people to know you're here, be quiet. All right, so let's see who's here. It looks like Android Purity's here. How you doing, brother? Brown Dwarf is here. Good to see you. Cannabis Resolution, Mr. Naysay, welcome, brother. Digger Dog is here. Dream is here. Maggie M10 is here. Well, I'm glad to see you guys. Of course, Rachel Gets It Right is here. Ruger Ridge, the Ruger. Sheldon Thomas. Sugar Britches, Ghost Magnet. Did I say that before? Names are popping up now. Mean Green Meme Machine is here. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Daniel Pierce, or David Pierce. Okay, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Megan's here. She's just not talking.
Megan's here? Okay. Megan's here.
Just thought I'd call her out.
Herman Vera just popped in. Good to see you. As the names pop up. Brown Dwarf. Did I already say Brown Dwarf? Well, if not, I said it now. Oh, there's Lucifer. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. Lucifer Morningstar. I like your show, by the way.
It's a good show, actually. Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, yeah. Anybody else? Looks like going, and done. Okay. Well, that's who was coming up on the list. So thank you guys for being here and being a part of our journey.
As always.
Let's get to the next one, number 7. I want to get through this article, and we're almost there. Number 7, Face in the Window. This is by Screaming Wilhelm. Screaming Wilhelm. _ Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Wilhelm. All right. Sorry, the name just kind of sent me on a journey in my head. I was like, Wilhelm. Huh. Sounds kind of German, I'm thinking. When I was 7 or 8, I remember looking out of my bedroom window one night and seeing a face. Yeah, that's not what you want to see when you're looking out your window as a 6, 7, 8-year-old. I suppose it could be considered the stereotypical alien face. Huge eyes, narrow mouth, no noticeable nose. The window was 6 feet or so off the ground, and this face was near the top of it. Whatever it was felt evil, and it was aimed at me. My adult mind says it was a dream, but I'm sure I was awake. I've told this story twice, once to my significant other, and once here. I don't talk about it because I feel like if I do, it will somehow know and will come back. Even right now, I'm extremely uncomfortable having typed it. My significant other makes jokes occasionally and thinks it's funny when I get nervous, but it still terrifies me. Well, so that does sound like the stereotypical gray alien kind of face. And if this person was awake and saw it out the window, there could very, very well be a history of abduction that they don't remember, or, from a very young age up until that age or throughout their lives, including. So I don't think they just appear randomly. They're not like, oh, let's just go peek in this window and see what's up. I don't know what they're doing, but they definitely seem to have an agenda. And so I don't think they just pop in and, just check people out. I think they know if they appear somewhere, it's because they need to be there for some reason or for someone. And certainly abduction scenarios seem to happen generationally in families, like, from grandparents down to great grandchildren or whatever, it just keeps going generationally, like they're monitoring this bloodline for some reason. And who can say why? It might have something to do with the whole idea that the Anunnaki created human beings, but you never know. And that would be the topic of our last podcast. It was a really great discussion. So if you haven't heard it, go check it out. You can find it on Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes. And it's The Religion of the Anunnaki. And it was the guest I had on was Sergio Halabi. And he was talking about the presence of the Anunnaki epochs and stories in the Abrahamic religions. So it was really pretty cool. It was a great time, great discussion. So if you haven't heard it, go check it out. I hope you like it. Let me know. I like the feedback on things like that, because that was pretty much the first show where we ever went down that rabbit hole. Usually it's ghosts, aliens, the more present kind of things like people experienced in our day and age. So this was kind of a departure for us. Oh, I lived that show. Ghost Magnet lived it. You lived it? Or I mean, I loved it?
Probably love.
Okay. Because I mean, if you've got experiences or something like that, I'd love to hear that. But yeah.
Were you on the show?
Thank you, Lucifer. He says, love your show. That's awesome. Loved. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it because we've never really gone down that avenue before. And as such, it was something I was curious what our audience would think of it because, generally I don't get into people's religions too much. And I certainly don't want to offend anybody with the discussion, but I think it's also incredibly interesting. And the parallels are really intriguing.
Definitely might be worth a discussion.
Oh, it was. If you haven't heard it, Sheldon Thomas, you should be listening to it as well.
Oh, I have not heard this.
Okay, well, that's your homework.
All right.
All right, so we already talked about this one, so let's go to the next one. Number 8, Neverending Pour, Pour, from Lunatic 21. I remember we used to have a chatter come in here, Lunatic Fringe. I wonder what happened to her. I think she might have changed her name though, and maybe so. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's someone in here.
I know it could be someone right in here, and I'll be like, God, I have such a dyslexia for names, and it's always been haunting me my whole life. Even people like I've known my whole life. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, this is my good friend, and the name will be just gone from my head, and so I try to play it off like
So that's where I got it from. Okay.
Oh, is that for you too?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
It's absolutely mortifying when I'm trying to introduce people. It's like, God. So I always, when I know that situation's coming up, I rehearse names before that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, anyway. I don't think there's a lot of reports of alien heads exploding. What?
Oh, Rachel was asking. Yeah.
What was she asking? Oh.
Rachel asked earlier if I wonder if kids who are afraid of balloons are afraid because they look vaguely like alien heads.
Yeah, on the strings. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The little skinny alien necks. Yep. Sheldon completed his Bob Lazar homework, but we never reviewed his thoughts, did we? Ooh, Android.
True. Yeah.
We can probably spend a few minutes talking about that after we get through this article here. So, a Neverending Pour. I was a manager at a pet store, and we used paper bags. This elderly lady bought a couple of things, was rang through, and then continued to browse for a bit while she waited for friends/family. As I was filling out something on one of our unused tills for paperwork, I noticed this woman's paper bags start to leak out of the corner. It turned into a steady stream that did not stop. At first, I was like, maybe she put a bottle of water on that bag upside down. No biggie. So I went over to point out her bottle was leaking in her bag. She didn't notice. And then I looked at the bag. No bottle. Nothing that could have been leaking. It was a clear bag of biscuits packaged in store and a bully stick, whatever the hell those bully stick is. I took the bag of biscuits out, and it was completely full of water, draining out of the corner. But here's the paranormal/unexplained bit. The bag never decreased in level of water. It just kept pouring water with no stopping. A few customers and I just watched it for like 10 seconds before I realized I should take it outside. So I did. Customers in tow, and just sat this bag down while it continued to pour. After 30 seconds after I put it down, the bag's water level started to suddenly decrease, and it was empty in like 5 seconds. I was absolutely floored. Like, what did I just witness? A bag that was magically connected to a source of water. I still don't know. I watched the cameras over so many times and couldn't explain it. I still think about it from time to time. Okay, so that's an interesting thing. Now, I do think when I say there's magic in the world, I really think there's magic in the world. I don't mean just being figuratively like, oh, it's a magical, wonderful place full of dreams and unicorns. I really don't just mean like that. I mean, like, I think there's these things that we discuss on this show are possibly some of the things that the wizards of old knew how to tap into. Like, they knew how to connect with these things and make things happen. Like, I really think that there's something to that. And of course, there's still magical systems that are used today, but I think that kind of knowledge to do such things as to, pour or have a cup of water, just continue to pour water. Obviously, a lot of magicians' trickery and stuff and illusions have taken over, and maybe were used even way back in the day. But sometimes when stories like that come up, it kind of makes you think of elements and elementals and is there a way or something? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't want to sound like a Fruit Loop, but honest to God, I hear stories like that and I think, God, that's magical. That's like something like Moses knocking his staff on the rock and all of a sudden a spout of water comes out because, they were traversing the desert and, everybody was thirsty. And this bag of water, it seemed just as miraculous as, the story from the Bible from the Exodus story of using his staff and hitting the rock, and a spring burst forth and rushed in, and gave them water. It's things like that. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not, but I have all of these pieces and parts and bits that sometimes come together. And I think, that seems to be something, right?
I think so.
Here, Android Purity says, Paranormal Portal, the person recently who became cured naturally, HIV was a form of magic too, different types of magic. Yeah, I think, here's the thing. I just think we are probably, by virtue of being alive and being imbued with a divine spark, so to speak, we probably, are very magical beings. I mean, we do very fundamentally create our experience. And I think that what we do every day in creating our experiences and it could be the same thing. It's manifestation, right? So if you believe in manifestation, you can manifest good things in your life. You can manifest bad things in your life. You can manifest nothing in your life. You have all of those abilities. And I think that we have the ability to create incredible experiences and incredible situations. And what does that mean? Well, I guess it's up to you.
I can even give a small example of manifestation if you'd like.
Absolutely, please.
Remember when I was younger, I had a ton of warts on my foot.
Oh, yeah.
And it was starting to spread to my hands, like my thumb. My thumb was starting to get a cluster of warts here. There was a cluster of warts on both feet. Mm-hmm. It was spreading like mad. It was starting to get to my toes. And I started imagining that my body and their cell armies were fighting off the warts. Mm-hmm. Like I did that every day, just calming down, think of nothing, and just imagining that and putting that intention mm-hmm. into my body. And over the weeks, they started disappearing little by little. Mm-hmm. And then they were gone.
Sure. Yeah, I believe that, we of course, that could be a manifestation, or that could have been you rallying your own immune system to attack that, because the warts are a virus. But yeah, I mean, it certainly it's basically what it means, I think, is that we have a lot of capabilities. We are capable of so much more. And maybe our world, maybe our technologies and all these things maybe distract us way away from our potential. But sometimes we do tap into them, and amazing things have occurred. Now, I can tell you, I'm not going to go into details, but I can tell you, I've seen some pretty incredible things in my life, and I've seen things happen that should not have happened. And I don't mean just the paranormal. I mean some incredible things, miraculous things. And it makes me believe that we are, and I'm sorry to spiderweb off of the normal type of stuff, but I think these are discussions that are important too. Mm-hmm. But I think we're capable of incredible things. We just haven't remembered how. Like maybe our ancient forebears really did know a hell of a lot more than we do today. everything we know now is based around our technologies and sciences and stuff, but I think there's other kinds of technologies and sciences, like a spiritual technology that we've forgotten, and we see remnants of it in their ancient world when we, dig up these old places and see them talking about different things. I think there's truth to those things, but again,
I think Maggie's right on point, right with you, is that we get in our own way. We get in our thoughts get in the way of our true potential.
Oh, sure.
And the things we could do.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's very true. All comes down to your paradigm and what you believe. Absolutely, Paz. I believe that 100%. I think you're right on it, brother. Human papillomavirus, Pazuzu, for. All right. Here we go. Let's continue.
Okay.
You guys are awesome, though. I appreciate your conversations on these things. I appreciate what you guys have to say, and I appreciate you also humoring me when I decide to go on these segues and off routes to different ideas and stuff. But it's just how my head works, I just love thinking about these things. So, number 9, Feeling Someone Sitting on My Bed by Kellner 21. A handful of times I would feel the corner of the bed lower, as if someone sat down on it. And whenever it happened, I would refuse to turn over and just face the wall until I fell asleep. That was over 25 years ago. Whenever it happened, I would refuse to turn over and just face the wall until I fell asleep. Okay, so they're not acknowledging it. They're just facing the wall and feeling somebody sit down behind them, but they never looked to see what was going on. They just, oh, I'm done, I'm sleeping. And they would just go to sleep. I think that's incredibly brave, because what is it? What's sitting on your bed? What does it want? Are you okay with just falling to sleep with some stranger sitting on your bed?
Yeah, that's weird. Come on.
I mean, fear is a powerful thing. I understand, but how do you disengage from it completely? Like, nope, I'm in denial. It's not happening. Good night. It's like you happen to get the spirit called the groper or something. It's like,
oh no,
no, go leave. All right, just an idea, but yeah, strangeness. Number 10, The Sounds of Feet on Steps. This is by Drake9214. Was working as an EMT in a rural small town for a few years. After a run, I was up late finishing my report when I started hearing someone come down some wooden stairs in the bay about 40 feet from me. The stairs go up to a training room, and it's just me and my partner there. I look, nothing there. I go sit back down, try to finish the report. Sound gets loud and fast down the stairs, so I just get up and start walking out to where... when the plug-in for the ambulance just shoots out and crashes against the wall. Decided to finish my reports in the bunk rooms. Nope, not going to do reports here. Number 11, Gone Without a Trace. I think that could be something attached to the ambulance at that point. It's like something, if somebody passed away in an ambulance or something, they might be lingering. I don't know.
It could be.
It's possible. Yeah. Anyway. Gone Without a Trace by D. Yawney 676. There's a section of the warehouse I work in that is from the 1940s, and it's said to be haunted. Well, I was on the second floor one night, shift is 9 to 5 a.m., 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., when I saw someone lean out from one of the aisleways along the side of the main walkway, notice me, and lean back in, almost as if they were checking to see who was there. Thinking it was my manager, I called out to him and walked over, but nobody was there. Being that this section of warehouse is 80-ish years old, the floors are all wooden and incredibly loud. There is no possible way someone could move around up there without making footsteps and creaks. I heard nothing, saw nothing else, and nobody was on that floor but me. Not good,
Ooh.
not good, not good.
Rachel says, from your story before, she says, LOL, I did. There was an old lady at the foot of my bed. I looked at her, looked away. She was still there.
Ooh.
I just decided to close my eyes and sleep.
Wow. Was she was looking at you? Like just sitting on your bed staring at you, or what? Or
Yeah,
just
I'm curious
happen to be
too,
sitting.
Rachel.
Yeah, happen to be sitting on the bed, just staring at the wall. Kind of like a mannequin thing. You kind of wonder, are they really there, or are they just in a state of confusion, or what? But if you felt them sit down, then that's pretty powerful. Oh, HPV is the virus responsible for warts, Brent. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's
So
Zuzu.
is it terminal? Like, do I always have that virus?
I don't know that that's the case. I don't know. I think it's the human papilloma virus is HPV, but I know that's some people get vaccinated against it. But I've heard that there's problems with that vaccination, so I'm no doctor, so don't take any medical advice from me. But yeah, I don't know. Strange.
Yeah.
Learning about teenage viruses by.
Oh, Rachel says no, facing sideways.
Wow, so just kind of sitting on your bed, looking somewhere else. I think that's almost more creepy. Because
Well, yeah, like they're just there, but they're not acknowledging you. It's like,
just go sit somewhere else.
yeah,
Sit
why by
here.
me?
Yeah, this is not your home. Not anymore. Anyway, wow. Number 12, ghost headlights on a country road. We're going to end up in overtime. We're already in overtime. Ghost headlights on a country road. This is by Goddess of Road and Sky. Everyone should have one of those, right? One night I was driving the car with my friend in the passenger seat. And we were taking back roads, just listening to music. There was nobody else around, and the stretch we were on didn't have any street lights. Out of nowhere, two blaring lights shined in the rearview mirror, and I swear, I looked at the mirror and saw the car right behind me. Since nobody had been around just seconds ago, I assumed the car must be driving pretty freaking fast, so I floored it. I braced myself for impact, and a second later, when nothing happened, I looked back at the rearview mirror, and there was nothing but the faint red from the own taillights. I slowed down and told my friend what I just saw. She admitted that she did not see any such lights. She did, however, get a creepy feeling and just shivered just moments before I saw it. The cherry on top? The road we were on is one that my driver's ed instructor had me drive on 16 long years ago. On that same stretch of road, he was telling me a story about some teen who was drunk driving recklessly on that street. He went on describing the kid and how he went driving along with his buddies. He pointed to a memorial cross on the side of the road, and that's where he crashed. My skeptical brain wants to chalk these headlights up to a hallucination, but I've never had such a visual hallucination before, and it's been years since this event occurred, and this most plausible explanation still doesn't make sense. The one and only time in my 32 years that I've ever had an hallucination just happened to be where my friend got the shudders as we were driving down the same road. I mean, I think that's still more likely than ghosts, but this is one thing I've experienced that I really can't figure out. Yeah, there's always, several areas have the weird roads that have the ghost car that appears and harasses the other drivers and then just suddenly disappears. It's a creepy phenomenon. I don't know what it is, but it's strange. Number 13, heavy boots pacing in the kitchen, from the kitchen to the bathroom. And this is by Adventurous Egg 6321. In my old house, I'd be laying in bed watching TV at 2 to 3 a.m. and could distinctly hear someone wearing heavy boots walk around the bathroom to the kitchen. They would do it 4 or 5 times, and then it would stop. At first, I thought it was my mom or grandma. I lived with both. And I'd go check to see what they were doing up so late, but no one was ever there. One day at dinner, I brought it up to them, and my grandma told me that she heard the same footsteps since she first moved in. I'm pretty skeptical. The house was old and creaky, so it could have been anything, but it sounded just like human footsteps, and I can't explain the repetition. Usually in a creaky house, you'll hear 1 or 2 sounds, but then it just goes away, so I don't know. How many more do we got? Oh, there's just one more. Okay. Weird happenings at the nursing home. This is by Voice is a Weapon. I worked in the memory care unit of a nursing home facility from 8 to 10:30 p.m. I would be the only employee in the unit, and all of our residents were in their rooms, either sleeping or watching TV around 9:30 p.m. Our unit was an L shape with a living room and dining room in the bend of the L. One night at around 9:45, I was just walking from one end of the unit to the other. We had quite a few empty rooms at the time, and we always kept the doors closed, but not locked. I walked past some empty rooms and turned around at the end of the unit. As I walked back up past the empty rooms, one of the doors was wide open. I turned on the lights and looked through the entire room. They weren't very big, but there was nothing to find. There was no way any of my residents could have gotten up and opened a door and then gotten back to bed without my noticing. I shut the door, checked that it was still firmly closed. I sat in the living room area for the rest of the shift, just staring down the hallway, terrified. Of course, I had been warned that weird things happen in nursing homes because there's bound to be lots of death, but I never talked to anyone who had a negative experience. They said it was more things that felt like a resident who passed getting confused and going back to their old room or favorite areas. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But
Ghost Magnet says sometimes people just go into a kind of denial when the electricity in the brain fires so much by seeing or hearing things that are beyond their ability to truly comprehend trauma, which makes sense to me.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that feeling of freezing up when you're seeing something that's out of your reality.
Yeah, it's just too much. Absolutely too much. Quite honestly, we're not prepared for this stuff when it does happen. We're given a set of rules and circumstances in our lives, and we're told this is the way things are. And then these things happen. They're totally foreign and different, and it's bending all the rules that we're supposed to know that are there. And so it's hard to wrap your head around. It's plenty creepy.
Oh, there's a lunar eclipse tonight.
Is there really? Where?
Consquatch says that.
Oh, okay.
And Gigi said, anyone else feel low energy last couple days? Funny enough, yes, actually. I have felt just out of energy.
Yeah, it's been a weird biorhythm lately, right?
Yeah, that's okay. I'm glad it's not just us then. All right.
We're not broken, yay!
Yeah, if everybody says, "Oh, I've been feeling fine."
Oh, Brown Dwarf says blood moon. Is it a blood moon?
Ooh, I'm gonna go take a look after the show.
Ruger says he doesn't feel any slower. Slower for me is just stopped. It's only tonight I've felt it. Paz is feeling it over in the UK. So there you go. I tell you, there's something's amiss, but I think we're in this weird state of transition as a global society, and this is just one of those, I don't know, things just are just so coiled up and tense, and it's like, is it the calm before the storm, or is it the calm that releases the storm? I don't know how this is all going to work out, but man, everybody I think is feeling it right now. Around the world, there's so much strange stuff going on, so many weird situations, and I think everybody is just kind of wound up to the point of near exhaustion. And I just try to remind myself that's when we need to focus on, love and kindness and being good to each other and helping and being understanding and wishing well and trying to bring light to the world, because it feels like it's so twisted and dark right now.
Just a lot of hate all around. It's
a lot of anger. Yeah. I don't know if it's hate or anger or if it's just frustration. The thing is I think, and I'll just say this: I'm not ever going to get into politics because I'm not informed enough to be politically aware, but also I don't want to charge down that road. But what I will say is that I think and I said it on the show in 2017, and if you look back at the old recordings, you'll see me from time to time going, man, something is going on. Something is changing right now. And it just occurred to me, it was a point of transition. And I think it's a point of transition, hopefully moving to a higher vibration for all of us. But whatever the transition point is, or whatever it is it's a point of some things falling away and new things coming into being. And I think there are some groups, forces, people that are trying to take advantage of this time of flux and transition. And they've got people so bent up and going sideways and backwards and forwards and, up is down, black is white. And everything is so attempted to be corrupted right now. And maybe it's to Maybe that's a lower vibrational thing that's trying to stop this higher vibrational transition. I realize this sounds all flaky and esoteric, but just bear with me here. I'm just getting it from an intuitive level, but I think it's just now it's more important than ever to remember the good things, the things that are good and that make us stronger and help to, spread the light and the love as much as you can, because man, there seems to be enough things trying to amplify the anger and the dark and the terror and fear and all of those base emotions that I hope we're outgrowing. So,
I mean, that could be an exhausting thing for a lot of maybe. I mean, I wonder if it correlates with the amount of unemployment that people that has been seen, just the exhaustion that people might be feeling and maybe don't know where it's coming from.
Well, there seems to be a lot of different agendas being pushed right now, and I'm not saying this side or that side or anything. I just think that there's a lot of agendas being pushed, and I think that no matter what the agenda is, they're all just pushing us off of our balance. They're all just pushing us off of our center, and they're trying to get us all bent out of shape. Like there's an intentional shift to try to make people mad and angry and isolated and separated and to polarize people one direction or another. And it's just pulling everything as hard as it can. It's just pulling everything apart. But I think we'll get through it. I really do. And I think we'll get through it and be wonderful. But I think it's whatever this is, maybe the death throes of an old low vibrational existence or whatever that's trying to hang on to a paradigm. And meanwhile, maybe we're shifting out of it. I don't know. Again, I know it's not necessarily the scope of the paranormal portal, but I also think I would be negligent to not at least address it to some extent. And, I love having discussions and hearing people's ideas. Paz says there's a spiritual war coming on, or going on. Yeah. It's coming from the continual assault people have had with maybe. I don't want to get into arguing whether this is this or that is that. I just think the important thing is to remember, who are you? What do you want your truth to be, and what do you want to manifest into this world? Because like I said before, I think we are creators of our experience, and we do manifest things into this world on a very profound level. And it's manifest according to what we're vibrating. And if we allow ourselves to vibrate in fear and anger and distrust and polarization and separation, then that'll cause problems. But if we remember that people, I think everybody's just trying to do what's right and do what's good. And maybe, for whatever reason, I just think it's important to not forget our who we are and who we want to be. Because, now more than ever, because it's such a dark, confusing place right now. And there's so many things. So we're just under a constant barrage of be afraid of this. Don't go do this. You control, afraid, fear. You can't do this anymore. You can do this. You can't do this. You need to do this, no matter what you think about that. And it's just So
I saw a headline once that said, "This is one of one of my first experiences where I just stopped watching the news." At that point, I just stopped taking it seriously. At least it was a headline. It said, "New study shows that milk can cause cancer." I'm like,
well, basically, if you listen to all that stuff, there's only a few things in the earth that apparently don't cause cancer, and it's like unflavored yogurt and something else, maybe tap water, clean water. And I don't know, and I don't want to get into try to giving any health advice or anything. I just want to remind people to just remember to be kind, be good, be kind, be nice, and to try to resonate love in whatever you do, because I think all of us are hurting right now. And I think to not acknowledge that and to ignore that and be, not be geared towards, a holistic approach towards everyone and everything as much as possible. I mean, I do agree with some things. I don't agree with other things, and I'm not going to get into that here because that's never been what the show is about. I just hope to remind people to be good to each other,
and be kind and be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little worn out line, but I hope it means something. I know it's a silly thing to close every show with, but I mean it with all my heart, that I just want to remind people, just remember, because it's so easy to forget in this world right now. It's so easy to forget and to be angry and to be distrustful and mistrustful and feeling empty and hollow and separate. And I don't think we are. I think, we just got to remember that. And I'm sorry, I don't usually do this on the show, but I don't ever want to be preachy because I'm not claiming to have the answers. I remember that I want to be a good person. I want to care about the people in this world. I mean, not just people in my immediate life, but just I'd love to see a better world for all of us. So the only way we can create that is by resonating that in our world and in our own experience. And now more than ever, pay it forward and do just random stupid things of kindness as much as you can, because people need it now more than ever. So
yeah,
just my 2 cents for whatever that is, but I hope it makes a difference. I just, again, it's just, this is a little show, but maybe it matters a little bit. And if it does, then thank God. So, let's get to the end of our show, I guess. And can't end the show without the trail cam terrors, right, Sheldon?
I was waiting for it.
All right, let's check it out. It's time, folks. Ooh, there was a pause in there. Welcome to the Trail Cam Terrors, ladies and gentlemen. This is our segment of the show where we like to highlight either photos or video evidence. Started out with trail cam stuff, and we still visit that again whenever we can, but it can be CCTV footage. It can be other things, but this one is CCTV footage, and this is coming from the sunderlandecho.com/news, and it's watch CCTV footage of a ghost knocking over a full pint of an iconic Sunderland pub. In an iconic Sunderland pub. I'm not sure where Sunderland is. It says CCTV footage shared on the social media shows a ghost knocking over a full pint on the bar of a Hendon pub. Sounds kind of UK, but I don't know. I'm not sure. It says a spooky incident took place just before 1 p.m. on Saturday, November 13th in the Blue House pub on Corporation Road in Hendon, right before the eyes of landlady Darla Anderson, rather. I get free articles, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. It said CCTV footage shows a full pint on the bar with no one near it before just topples over in a manner like it had been pushed by something. Darla, who's from Palion, described her shock at the ghostly activity and revealed what may have caused it. The 23-year-old said, "My auntie was actually the landlady of the pub around 20 years ago, and she always said back then that it was haunted. As it happens, we actually had a spiritualist drinking in the bar on Friday night, November 12th, who said that she could sense something in the pub. Apparently, the spirit doesn't like me brushing away liquid in the cellar. Brushing away liquid in the cellar? So it might have upset it by doing that." Hold on, please. Okay, just a sec. In remembering, I was just looking at the pint and then it just fell. There was only 3 or 4 of us in the pub at the time, so there's no way anyone could have knocked it over. I just can't find any reasonable explanation as to why it happened. All our customers cannot believe it. Darla checked the CCTV footage after the pint fell and posted it on social media and has been contacted by others who used to run the pub. She added, "I posted it on Facebook and some people were commenting saying the bar isn't flat, so it just slipped, but the glass was on a mat designed to stop things like that from happening. There's just no way it would just tip over, so it's very strange that it did. After seeing the clip, the previous landlady got in touch with me to say that she always said the pub was haunted, as empty pint glasses would just fall off the bar, but she never had CCTV to capture it. I'm just so glad that we have the CCTV, as I don't think anyone could have actually believed me if I told what happened. Where's the actual video? Where is it? I'm looking. I don't see. There's supposed to be a video, right? I don't understand. Okay, well, there's a tipped over glass. Do they not have a video?
Is it supposed to be in that space that's up above and it just didn't load in?
I don't know. Maybe. Let me refresh it. That's a little frustrating. No.
How anticlimactic.
Well, yeah, it's stupid, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you update your Adobe?
No. No. Don't update Flash.
Uh-huh.
Don't update Flash. It's a dead technology.
Gonna have to change Don's fault to Brent's fault.
Yeah, it might be. Wow, that was nearly as impactful as I was hoping. Why the hell would they have this and not have an image? Let me take it and put it in a different browser just to see if maybe it's the browser issue. Hold on. I'm going to see if that's the case, because you could be right. It could be the Brave browser could be knocking off a link that should be appearing in there. So I'm loading.
Yeah, you get 20 other tabs.
All right, Captain Tab Police. All right, here we go. This one actually seems to be showing some box. There it is. Yeah, there's a box in here, so we're going to watch that. All right, here it is. I'm going to see if I can make it bigger, but oh, Jesus, what is this? Now, later. Ad removed. What? Wait, maybe it's not there. I still don't see it, right?
Oh.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big click fest.
Oh.
I don't want the details of that. I don't know. Sorry, folks. I thought I had an actual video here to show you. But let me just do a reenactment for you all of this weird event. Are you ready? I'm going to do a reenactment of the pint tipping over on the bar. Okay, watch this. This is the pint. This is the bar with a non-slip surface. Whoa. That's it. There you go. All right. See the lengths we go to entertain you guys and to make sure you're getting all the entertainment value you could ask for. I don't know if that's the same. I'm not claiming my reenactment was accurate, but judging from the narrative, I think I'm pretty close. However, this is not. This is a ghost. It's invisible.
Gigi wants you to do it in song form next.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. But thank you for your
Where's
suggestion.
the musical number?
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Yes, sir. Huh?
Can I watch TV?
Not just yet. Thank you for asking. I'm almost done, though, and then you can watch TV, I promise.
But Mommy's making food.
Okay, well, just sit right there. I'm going to close the show. Do you want to tell people what they should do? Okay, just give me a second here. That concludes Trail Cam Terrors, folks. One of the segments of the show we just finished. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's going to wrap it up for what we got here. Say hello, Minion.
Hello.
Okay. And Sheldon, you want to let people know what they can do to stay in touch with...
I want to.
You can do that in a minute. Sheldon's turn first.
We're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah, Sheldon's going to talk about something different. Go ahead, Sheldon.
Well, if you guys want to stay more in touch with us in the community in general of the Paranormal Portal, and to link to a lot of videos and such that the community links to us and brings to our attention, some really cool stuff in there, actually. You can join us here in the Discord. The link is in the chat. Come and join us, talk, and ask questions, link stuff. Lots of great discussions, guys.
Absolutely. Well said, Mr. Sheldon. Thank you. And Mr. Elijah, what should people do?
Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any videos.
There you go. Hit the notification bell. Absolutely. Well done, both of my boys. Well done.
If you don't like, then you're making my little brother sad.
If you don't hit like, you'll make the little child cry, right?
Yeah.
You'll cry, won't you? Pretend to cry. Hurry, quick. Yeah, good. See what you're doing to my kid? Hit the like. Don't you love children? What's wrong with you? Get subscribed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody.
Good night.